Have you ever wondered if cosplayers would survive a zombie apocalypse? Well, they don't. We have a movie that we just saw that should be perfect to answer your question. It is called ZombieCon Volume 1, and it is directed by Kyle Valle. Before we start, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more horror content just like this, and don't forget to ring that little bell down below so that way you're notified every time we post a video just for you guys. So where do we begin? First, we have to start with the fact that this is a pretty decent movie for a lower budget film. I will give them credit, but there are some things that could have been better in terms of how the story could have gone, how some of the characters should have been, and just the timing with everything. But I think that the blood was amazing, the action was pretty cool, the zombies looked amazing as well, and I think it was mainly the story that just needed a bit of changing up, as well as some of the characters. Personally, I think that they should have gone a route of comedy, the same way that Zombieland does it, and I think it would have worked out really well having some of those characters that they tried to take seriously and have them make some sarcastic comments and such. Also, not to mention the fact that they use cutaways just like Family Guy does. The only thing is that it drags just a little bit. If they cut it off just at a perfect time, it would be perfect. Outside of that, I would say the characters, they're pretty good. Some of them, I believe, are better written than other characters, where we have the main character Rocket trying to be the confident badass, but then goes to having like a ill temper most of the movie. I think that they should have just gone a comedic route with him as well. That's my biggest thing that I would say for this movie, that because the premise is literally a girl wishing that all the assholes of the world turn into zombies, that sounds like something that would be in Scott Pilgrim, Zombieland, and any of those really good but also funny movies. They don't take themselves very seriously. And as this is a cool idea, I believe that they definitely should realize that they need to not take themselves so seriously within this type of movie. For the second movie, I honestly would want them to kind of take place in an actual Comic-Con and see what they could do with that, if anything. Another thing regarding cameras would be too many close-ups. I think that they would just need to work on their camera angles and such, but outside of that, I would rate this movie 3.5 knives. Now, I've said my piece. We're gonna move on to Lucky's segment. He's gonna let us know what he thinks of this movie.
Hey guys, this is Lucky, and now that we're done with the boring part, let's talk about how great ZombieCon Volume 1 was. Shout out to the production crew and the cast and the director for messaging LXDP about doing a review. This movie was a lot of fun, in my opinion. I think the idea of a bunch of cosplayers trying to actually survive a zombie apocalypse is a unique and fun idea. I also will say that the pacing in this film was pretty strong for the most part. Many times throughout the entirety of the film where I felt like it started to slow down, but it kind of knew exactly when to pick it back up. In the beginning, for example, our main character Rocket gets rocked in the face. He is kind of struggling with the idea of like people existing that are just assholes and maybe he should be one. And that ties into a big part of the movie in which Aaron's character Claire has this like magical rock and basically wishes every jerk or asshole in the world would turn into a vampire so she could kill them. I love that tie-in about Rocket getting punched in the face and now he is debating on whether or not he should be an asshole just for the other shoe to drop and every asshole in the world becoming a zombie. But it knew exactly when to take that bit of like information that we get about the plot itself and get right back into the action, because her ex-boyfriend delivers a pizza, now he's a zombie and he's freaking out on everybody and is going crazy. I will say another thing, the costume designs in this film really hit the mark for me, even down to when our lovely group of main characters become like the Guardians of the Galaxy in the beginning of this movie, and they are in a competition, a local competition, and it's like, it's really neat concept to have cosplayers fighting zombies. It feels like the nerd community is interjected into a horror community, and that's really fun because as a horror fanatic, as you know, shout out BP Fun, we are also massive nerds here. So it was cool to see that. On the negative side, not really negative, just things to work on, would just be camera angles and the usage of cameras and some of the lighting. I felt like some of the lighting throughout the film felt just a little bit off. The scene in which she gets the rock is a very dim lit scene, and I know it's a nighttime shot scene, but we really don't get to see a whole lot of that interaction. Another scene that it's kind of shaky cam-ish is the first zombie appearing in the apartment, where she walks out of the room and it's very frantic, like it's going from this person to this person to this person. And I really would have liked to kind of have that, I don't know, a little bit more brought in if they do decide to do a second film. Hopefully they do, and we get to experience it again. For my review, I'm going to give this a 3.5 knives as well, and I'm excited to see what this universe does. But as always, I would like to remind everybody to de-stress, progress, and give your mind a rest. This is Lucky with LXDP signing off. We'll see you guys in the next one.